We are in the middle of the IPL, but the Indian team has been announced for the T20 series versus South Africa and the Test series versus England. And you know, when it comes to the IPL and the Indian team, it's the Indian team that takes precedence. So we've got 5 very important questions that have come out of those 2 selections, that is the Test team and the T20 team. With me is my colleague Rahul Rawat, and we'll try and answer those 5 important questions, or as Rahul calls them, burning questions. So, burning question, or the topmost question that's on everyone's mind, is this.
One surely everybody is asking, where is Rahul Tripathi?
Yes. And Sanju Samson misses out.
Yes.
And Mohsin Khan, the one that has caught everyone's eye. In fact, this is a very close contest between Umran and Mohsin as who's been that more of an impactful bowler. And it's a close contest. So these 3 names, Sanju Samson has been actually dropped since he was part of that last T20I series. The only unfortunate guy to be dropped. And Rahul Tripathi, Mohsin Khan, 2 guys who've really impressed. So are they unlucky to miss out in the Indian T20 team for South Africa, especially considering that 4 of your regular members have been rested in Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Jasprit Bumrah, Ravindra Jadeja.
Right.
So you think they're unlucky?
I know because of their performances, especially Rahul Tripathi, everybody is asking where is Rahul Tripathi. In fact, when the squad was not announced, it seemed inevitable that Rahul Tripathi will make it to the squad. But Nikhil, I would want to ask, what has Rahul Tripathi done to merit a place? He's done well, but has he done so well that he merits a place? See, right now, first take Sanju Samson and Rahul Tripathi. They were top order batsmen here in IPL. How many runs did they score? Sanju Samson, and have they scored somewhere around 500, 600 runs? No. Have they scored 400 runs? No. Rahul Tripathi, if I am not wrong, has scored somewhere around 390 odd runs. Sanju Samson has scored somewhere around 375. Is that such a great performance that they should get a call up for the Indian team?
I think you make a valid point. Firstly, my answer to this entire question, are the 3 of them unlucky to miss out? I will say no, and I'm talking about all 3. One by one, I'll give you reasons why I think so. In Sanju Samson's case, as Rahul pointed out, not the best of the IPL, or average IPL. But the thing is, last T20 series, there were 2 wicket-keeper batsmen that you always select, and in India's case, it was Ishan Kishan and Sanju Samson.
Right.
But if you remember, Ishan Kishan was the one that was continued, was number 1 in that race. Sanju only came because Rishabh Pant did not play that particular series, right? So the second option was Sanju Samson.
Right.
Now again Rishabh is not there, so you would have thought that because they persisted with all other players that they had taken earlier, despite their IPL performances.
Rishabh?
Rishabh is there. So when I'm saying when Rishabh is there this time, I'm saying when all other players who did not have a great IPL, we'll talk about them, when they've been persisted with, why Sanju Samson? That's because now Rishabh makes a return, and he's come back.
And he's back.
In fact, now they have 3 wicket-keeper batsmen. In Dinesh Karthik has also come.
But
so can you go with 4?
If I am not wrong, I don't think they are looking at Ishan Kishan as a wicket-keeper, because if you see the squad, it says Rishabh Pant, wicket-keeper and vice-captain, Dinesh Karthik, wicket-keeper. Ishan Kishan, in Ishan Kishan's case, it doesn't mention that he is being looked at as a wicket-keeper.
Even if they're not, I'm saying you already have 3 options. It would make no sense to have a 4th wicket-keeper batsman option. You're going to look at pure batsmen. So on that front, I think Sanju that's why he misses out.
And you know, Sanju Samson, if you compare him with Ishan Kishan, I know Ishan Kishan also had a below par IPL, but still he got more runs than Sanju Samson. I understand Sanju Samson was leading a team and he did very well to in fact make it to the playoffs, Rajasthan Royals. But still, he has not set the stage on fire as far as this IPL is concerned. And they're number 3. They're batting at number 3 for their respective teams. So if they could have scored somewhere around 500, I doubt the selectors would have missed out their name.
I think why also I feel the selectors are following that protocol or a sort of that who was number 1, 2, 3 in our list before the IPL. and they are going to follow that. Dependent, and the chances will be given. So since Ishan was ahead of him,
True.
they've stuck with him.
And Dinesh Karthik, actually, he has set the stage on fire.
Yeah, and they are not. By the way, sorry, Dinesh is not competing with Sanju and for the position is very different.
Exactly, and here they are both top order batsmen.
Correct.
Okay, now you already have KL Rahul. He's going to lead the team. You have Ruturaj Gaikwad. You have Ishan Kishan. You have Shreyas Iyer, who most likely is going to play at number 3. So you have 4 people for those 3 spots. So unfortunately, they had to miss out. As far as Mohsin Khan is concerned, see, Arshdeep has got his maiden call-up. Not on the basis of this IPL. He's got a call-up because he's been performing consistently of late, not just in this IPL, but in previous IPL, in previous to previous IPL also. So a fair call that Arshdeep got a call-up ahead of Mohsin Khan. As far as Umran Malik is concerned, he is a rare species. He is a rare species. In India, you don't get fast bowlers who can bowl at 157. Although Mohsin Khan is also very quick. I think, if I'm not wrong, he's clocked somewhere around 151.
Yes.
He's already clocked 151.
So we'll come to Umran also. The second one that is remaining, Rahul Tripathi, and I think, I mean, when you're talking about his impact, I think he also goes in Arshdeep category where he's had impact. Like I was looking at numbers last IPL where KKR reached there. So he, I told you, I've said this before, 2 lists that were dominated last season in terms of most runs, top 10. He reached the top 10, and he was only one of the 2 middle order batsmen to reach there alongside Glenn Maxwell. That was rare in the top 10 run getter list, only looking at the Dubai leg or the UAE leg.
UAE leg.
So where all top order batsmen were going, there only 2 middle order batsmen made it. Rahul Tripathi was one of them, and in that list, in terms of strike rate, very few middle order batsmen, I think 3 made it in terms of highest strike rate in the UAE leg who were batting in the middle order. The rest 7 were top order batsmen. The 3 middle order ones that made was again Maxwell, was Hetmeyer, and it was Rahul Tripathi. And apparently Tripathi, if I remember correctly, had a better strike rate than Maxwell also.
This season, I think
not
Rahul,
this, I'm talking about the UAE leg.
Even this season, if I'm not wrong, Rahul Tripathi's strike rate is around 150-60.
Yes. So I'm saying I'm not looking at total number of runs while you make a valid point. I'm saying the impact he's had. But I also agree that none of them are unlucky to miss out, because in Rahul Tripathi's case, see that area is too packed with too many options.
Yes.
And you don't want to just create another headache and too many issues to resolve there. Also, I think, which may be unfortunate, age doesn't go in his favor. 32 years of age, and we're looking to invest in youngsters.
And there has to be a vision. See, India cap, you can't, I'm not saying that these people, they don't deserve. Hopefully in times to come, in future, they will get to wear the India cap. But there has to be a vision. You are looking at the T20 World Cup, which is almost just 6 months away. So let's not have too many players, a pool of too many players, because then you will only have to, you might have to pay a price, because then you will have to offload many of these players. So there has to be a vision. Don't make a pool of say 30 odd players. If you have a pool, just try them out. Though you can always say that they were unlucky, but for me, I think maybe there were players who were ahead of them.
Okay, that's question number 1 answered. We've got 4 more important questions to go. Question 2. Good call to persist with Ishan, Ruturaj, Bishnoi, Venkatesh Iyer, Avesh, despite not having a great IPL. Now, these are all players that were part of India's last T20I series versus Sri Lanka. And if you see, they've had average IPLs, not outstanding. There have been other players who have been better than them. So you would argue, should they come in? But the selectors have persisted with them. What do you make? Good call?
This is a little tricky question to me. See, Ishan, Ruturaj, I would surely want to see him. You know, part of that dressing room. Bishnoi, he's a youngster. They want to invest in him. Although, you know, you could have done away with a few names. Venkatesh Iyer has not, you know, even he's got opportunities for India. But maybe it was a little too early for him, because Hardik Pandya was not there. I wonder if he'll get to play in the 11. Maybe, you know, you will have a few games where Hardik Pandya might just sit out. Then you can have a Venkatesh Iyer. Avesh is a good fast bowler. It's a little tricky, but I would still say that, you know, on the basis of IPL performances, you cannot exclude people. you can include. So I think it's a fair call. To me, it's a fair call.
Okay. For me as well, I agree with Rahul here. I think it's a fair call that they've persisted with these guys. So they're looking at international performances, and it would have been unfair for them. And this is the problem that has been plaguing Indian cricket, that you pick them for a series, not having a great series, then IPL comes, you forget about that series, and you start dropping players. Bishnoi, in the limited chances he got against the West Indies team, that's when he first came, did really well. So I think I would want all of them to be persisted with. Ruturaj also got injured last time, that's how Mayank came, so didn't even get a chance to play against Sri Lanka. So I would have wanted the selectors, that's a good thing for me, that selectors are not dropping players, and credit to the coach and the captain, because they must have had a say. So there is a clear-cut plan which I'm liking. And in terms of Ishan, I know he's not had a great time in international and thing, but give him a fair chance. If he's not good enough, drop him. Ruturaj hasn't got too many chances, was injured, so I want to see him. Bishnoi, limited chances, did well. Venkatesh Iyer, I don't think it was his fault. Because he was opening, you pushed him in the middle order, did decently well, by the way, in the middle order. Then not has had a great IPL, again opening. So that confusion is there, but give him time. Nice. Right. Avesh, similar, had a okay IPL, but give him more chance. So I agree with, I like this from the selectors.
As you said, even I would say it's a fair call, but looking at this list, I think Sanju Samson might just feel that it was unfair to him.
Correct. That's
perhaps. Looking at these, because I think he's the only player who's been dropped.
Yes, that's why I said, so he would, looking at these players, feel a bit gutted. But the problem is, in his case, too many options have come.
Yes.
And remember, he only came not as a first option, like these guys were literally picked to look for replacements. He only came because Rishabh Pant did not play the last.
But when you say
was not part of the West Indies series.
I agree. He played against Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka last, yes, that's what I'm saying. Only
and he got a fair amount of time to spend there in the middle, but he didn't score too many runs. Correct. And but when you say that in his case there were a lot of options, but Bishnoi, see, you have Bishnoi, you have Yuzi Chahal, you have Kuldeep Yadav, you have Akshar Patel. There also you have too many options.
Yeah, but those are all the same that were part of it. I'm saying now from outside you've had more options, as in Rishabh has returned, and now DK is doing that in a different position. In his case, none of them have been dropped. So there is still, the Kulcha is still there, and Bishnoi is there. And by the way, Jadeja is also not there.
Jadeja is not there.
So that has also opened up a space. Whereas in wicketkeeper batsman, no space has opened up.
If Jadeja would have been there, in case, I know he got injured also, but in case if he would have been there, who would have been left out? Bishnoi or Akshar? I
think Bishnoi, because Akshar also got injured. So Akshar was ahead of Bishnoi in that race to first get a chance. But Akshar had been injured for long. So I think so. But either way, it wouldn't have been a bad call. So overall, we always criticize the selectors, but I think on the first two questions, they've done a good job. We both agreed. Let's see what question number 3 brings. Umran, Arshdeep and DK, they're the ones who've come in. First time chance for Umran and Arshdeep to be in the Indian squad. Though Arshdeep came in, he had gone in as a net bowler in that Sri Lanka tour and came into the squad because of injury. But now officially been selected first time, and DK has returned after 3 years. So what do you say? Deserve it?
Absolutely. Instant impact. Umran and DK, instant impact. Arshdeep for his consistency. Over a period of time. See, Dinesh Karthik also, people can say, see, he was unfairly removed or offloaded from that Indian team, but now that he has made an instant impact. Arshdeep, over a period of 2-3 seasons, he's done well, deserve a place, and especially as a death bowler, he is mighty good. Umran, as I said, he is a rarity.
Yeah, in the words of MS Dhoni, nothing to add. Umran, impact bowler, had to come in. Though I would have liked to have seen him earlier in the red ball, and I'm a bit slightly reserved in terms of his economy. But with Jasprit Bumrah not participating, you know that Shami will come into the scheme of things, but they're resting him for the Test series. So these are your crucial bowlers. With them not around, not a bad option.
Maybe see.
And Arshdeep also. What about Natarajan? Sorry.
Natarajan. I didn't know whether he has been dropped or he's not.
So he was not available because he was injured before this.
But he did.
Now he's fit.
Yeah.
So they've not gone with it. Maybe they want to see a bit more of him.
I think.
Are they worried about his injury because again got injured?
Maybe. And it's a 5-match series. 5-match series, and Arshdeep, I think it was, for me, it was always a choice or a toss up between Arshdeep and Natarajan.
Yes.
They've gone in with a youngster in Arshdeep, because Natarajan, see, you also have to see, when you, I think you said maybe age is not on Rahul Tripaঠি's side. For Natarajan also, if I'm not wrong, he's around 31, 32.
Yes.
And so that's the case. Arshdeep has shown great temperament. You know, somebody who's fielding at the boundary, coming to the bowler's end and telling Rabada, you know, this is how you need to bowl. So that's
good on Arshdeep.
Exactly.
Like him. So 3 questions answered, 2 very important questions remain. Question number 3, and now we're looking at the test team. Pujara recalled, is it a fair call? Simple question.
I have my doubts. As much as we like Pujara, the way he's played for India over the years, but when you had made a decision, I'm saying, then you're going back on your word. Not on word. See, somebody who merits a place, he had one job to do, that was to play, and he scored runs, and he's done that, irrespective of the bowling attack he was facing. But maybe a lot of youngsters might feel that they deserved a chance.
Yeah. In Pujara's case, I actually gone the other way. When he was dropped, I didn't want to see him dropped. Maybe because of what he had done. So at that time, but once you're right, but once the call was taken, then you've given the youngsters a chance. Now I'm only trying to think, as much as I love him and I want him to be the team, I'm only trying to think from the point of view of, let's say, Hanuma Vihari and a Shreyas Iyer. Now they had been made to wait for their chances. In Vihari's case, picked and drop, because they said the middle order was crowded. So he must be hoping, okay, then there will be a time. And when Ajinkya and Cheteshwar both won there, you knew that now in Vihari's case, he'll be a permanent, because he did well in the limited chances he got. So that was it. Then Shreyas Iyer's case is an interesting one. He got a chance versus New Zealand at home, got you a lot of runs. He must be hoping now I'll be a regular. But you went to South Africa, you didn't play him because you went with experience. Fair call. We had even supported at that time. When that tour didn't turn out the way you had wanted, then if I'm Shreyas Iyer, I'm thinking, okay, now you've dropped the 2 solver. Now it's my turn. I got runs in India. I wasn't picked in South Africa because they still wanted to go with experience. Now they are dropped. Now all test matches I'll get a chance.
Yes.
Now, with Pujara coming, now he's the sort of player, if you've got him, then most likely you'll play him.
Exactly.
In which case, again Shreyas. So if I'm Shreyas Iyer, I'll feel aggrieved that that's not fair. I know many people might say, maybe they're not confident, maybe he's got weakness against short pitch bowling, quick bowling, you're playing in England. But if that's the case, don't consider him in test cricket. Let him, the chances he's got you runs.
Shreyas,
whether it was in
I believe
India.
Might get a look in, no? No, Hanuma will play, you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And also,
both could have played.
And Nikhil, don't forget Shubman Gill also.
Yes.
Shubman Gill may not make the cut. Okay, Hanuma Vihari, the last series that India played, that was against Sri Lanka. Hanuma Vihari was your number 3.
Yeah.
Alright, I think ahead of Hanuma Vihari, it had to be Shubman Gill at number 3. Just that Shubman Gill wasn't well. I think he got himself injured. So that is the reason Hanuma Vihari made it as your number 3 ahead of Pujara. So Shubman Gill also,
we don't know, it's a fight actually now between Shubman, Hanuma and Shreyas, and now Cheteshwar.
See, for Shreyas, you
4 fighting for that two spots.
Yes.
4
and I don't know. See, Hanuma Vihari, whatever little opportunities, in fact, usually what happens is, Hanuma Vihari will say, every time you play at home, I don't get to play in India. You always play me in tougher conditions. Yeah. You will make me play in South Africa, you will make me play in Australia, all these places. And he's done reasonably well. Yeah. So, Hanuma Vihari, and he is also not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So,
so as much as personally I may
it's a 50-50 sort of
a mixed bag.
Exactly.
It's a mixed bag. But good on Pujara. I mean I give him credit for what is it that he could have done. Gone and scored runs wherever he got a chance. He went to county cricket, scored runs.
And it is easier to say and criticize selectors that I was unfairly treated and this was done. I asked. I'm not saying. By the way, I think in the previous chat you mentioned Riddhiman Saha and Ajinkya Rane. Ajinkya Rane, of course, he is injured at the moment. But they would also feel, when I spoke to the selectors, when I spoke to the head coach Rahul Dravid, I was told it's up to me whether I want to play domestic cricket or not.
The road is closed.
Exactly. But for them, you've shut the door. But Cheteshwar Pujara makes an entry. So they would feel.
Saha should feel aggrieved.
Yes.
If I was in Saha's place, Saha would say that, listen, if you had given me an opportunity also, I would also go and play county cricket. Or he may say, look at me, I'm still in form, scoring runs in the IPL also.
And for Rahane, I think it's the end of the road, because see, he has not been picked for that one-off test, that rescheduled test against England. Now, how many tests are you playing in the next 1 year or
But
6-8 months?
He gets into the 11, scores a lot of runs in that test?
I'm not talking about Pujara.
For
Rahane, I think it's the end of the road, because next you will play against Bangladesh, 2 test matches. Do you really think that India will field a full strength team? No. You mentioned about Umran Malik in red ball cricket. You would want to see him in red ball. Yeah. Maybe Umran Malik might just get a look in for those 2 test matches. Possible. So for me it's a 50-50 sort of a this thing.
Final burning question about India's squad selection. Again with Test cricket, Mayank Agarwal out of favor. Remember, out of favor in the T20 squad as well. He was part of that Sri Lanka T20, but he only came in as a last-minute replacement for Ruturaj. So now that I don't think would be a problem. But he'd say that, listen, I've been a Test regular now. How do you
was he? He has been in and out of the Indian team. See, he got. I thought Australia, when India won that historic series, he played the first 2 matches, if I'm not wrong, and his technique was dissected by each and everybody, be it Sunil Gavaskar, even the former players. So this time, if I remember correctly, against New Zealand at home, he got a 150. Then in the next innings, he scored 60 odd runs. But since then, we were talking about Pujara. Pujara could have done just one thing, that he could score runs. Similarly for Mayank Agarwal also. Against Sri Lanka, the 2 test matches that he played, I think first test we won by an innings. He didn't get too many runs. Then in the next test match also, he didn't get too many runs. I think out of favor, he will get very limited opportunities now, because see, you have KL Rahul, who is your captain, by the way. In the absence of Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul is your captain in white ball format. Maybe if Rohit Sharma is not available in test matches, I don't know whether Bumrah will captain or KL Rahul. So he will get very limited opportunities, and those opportunities will come only when somebody is injured. So KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma, if they are already there, you don't see Mayank Agarwal in the 11, because there's somebody like Shubman Gill also, because Shubman Gill at the moment must be wondering, मैं opener हूँ, मैं middle order batsman हूँ, मैं क्या हूँ?
No, he is I told you when I interviewed him before the IPL, he is okay to bat in the middle order. He knows it, that's where.
I think it's a long-term vision for Shubman Gill, that he will be your middle order batsman for future. Maybe this series, just in case, if this series had, if Pujara wouldn't have made the cut, although Hanuma Vihari was your number 3 in the last test matches, 2 test matches, but maybe Shubman Gill would have batted at number 3.
Alright, so those were the 5 important questions regarding the Indian team. I agree that, I mean, there's nothing wrong that has been done to them. So, coming days we'll make the 11s also. That is going to be very exciting. How you've selected the squad, you kind of agreed, but how do they fit into the 11? That's going to be a very important question. If you want to watch those sort of content, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today.